Colonel Hector Bravado of Breakup Gaming Society. Here to talk about, sorry about that, bro. Bandit, as promised. We have completed Bandit's car. He was the last unpainted character vehicle I had from this one, Wasteland Express Delivery Service. For those of you who didn't see the other installments in the series, in this game, all these characters are drivers for the world's last over-the-road parcel delivery service after a nuclear war. So, if there's still food, water, and ammo and other stuff coming to your ad hoc settlement, it's because these plucky and eccentric souls got it there. So what's Bandit's deal? He has one of the simpler backstories. As you see, most of the other drivers have big trucks or a bus in the Fallen's case. Bandit, he had a hot rod. They said, you can't haul for us with a hot rod. And he goes, watch me. And he threw a trailer on it, and now he's part of the team. What do we do here? As you can tell, I think when I came up with this scheme, I must have been thinking about creamsicles. I painted the chassis orange and hit it up with a kind of crooked but passable freehand white stripe there. And I'm happy with the way the little details on the trailer he stuck on it came out. Like a lot of the drivers, he's got some bling up there on his grill to make things look extra flash and chrome. So Bandit's done. These folks are all ready for the road. Now, there's one thing at the end that was sort of like, a happy accident / quasi-disaster, and that is when I finally finished Bandit's car last week. I'm just going to be real with you. I was pretty drunk. I was having a good time. So I said, you know what? These are Wasteland rigs. They drive around in terrible conditions. So why not hit them with a bit of dry brush? Which was, turned out to be a good idea for one reason. Because, I had them all pretty well mopped in this. That's not the right one. Here it is. I had them all mopped in this Agrax Earthshade, which gives it a nice grimy look, but sometimes, because I was using a very small palette of colors, it was a little dark. So I was in my cups. I was good and drunk. I just grabbed this ceramite white, slopped some of it on this, worked off some of the excess, and started dusting them. Now, sometimes it went on too heavy. But in other cases, as I went vehicle to vehicle, now, poor Zero here, I'm going to have to probably go back and do a few final tweaks here. It kind of looks like her rig got dipped in yogurt. I'm going to have to fix that. I was using too heavy of a stroke and too much paint on the brush. But as I worked some of the paint off and got to the later models, some of these models that were kind of drab got some nice little pop to them, a little light, and a couple neat weathering effects. I think the one that probably came out best was Gat's truck. I used a very crude palette on this one, mostly grays, browns, and a couple of metallics, and it really caught some of the ridges and helped it. So there you go. Which brings us to a brief sermon. It's called A, giving yourself permission to mess up and learn, and B, being okay with being okay. You have to know what you're in it for. I want my stuff to look cool from a few feet away and add to the theme of the game. And, I'm a pretty flat painter. My win is, hitting discrete parts of detail in different color and getting the borders right. And then going crazy with a dry brush. That's okay. Now, I admire and watch the high-level painters on YouTube who have 400 paints and airbrushes, and they do commissions and they win contests and they have the best looking army on the table. That's not what I'm in it for. I'll use maybe one or two things I learn from them to accentuate the two or three things I really like to do. So, if you're painting, go ahead. Do crime. Screw up. Paint with dirty brushes. Don't thin your paints. Just start slapping stuff on there and find the few exercises in the massive workout plan that you really like to do. Because at the end of the day, if this isn't fun, what's the point? And if you like the results you're getting, why worry about it? Although, that big white splash there, that was a mistake. I'm going to have to fix it. There's going to be one more video in this series. Now that we've got all the vehicles, including the villain trucks and everything else painted, we're going to go back and we're going to zoom out a bit. I'm going to take all the glorious components out of this box. Again, this is one of the better visually designed sets of components you'll see. Wasteland Express. It's really cool to see it on the table. So I'm going to just set up a game, put the board on it, and sort of zoom up to the 100-foot level and show you what it all looks like on the board and what you do in the game, and show off some of the other very cool design touches that makes this one of the games I just keep returning to and one of my favorites. By the way, if any of my few dozen people on here who watch this are on LinkedIn, my name is Nate, N-A-T-E, Warren, W-A-R-R-E-N. On LinkedIn, I just started a little newsletter that the job is to throw very short capsules that elevate small creators in the board game and TTRPG spaces. I think it's called TTRPG and Board Game Radar on LinkedIn. So, if LinkedIn's boring, do what I do. Connect with more board game industry people on there and elevate them. That's what I'm trying to do. Hell, if you're creating something, maybe you'll wind up in it. That's Nate Warren on LinkedIn, a.k.a. the Colonel Hector Bravado of Breakup Gaming Society, saying, until next time, may you fight long and well.